So hello everyone. I figured, because I've not walked for the last couple of days, that I'd do a video for you guys. Hey Arya. Come, sit on my lap. Oh, Arya's gonna come on my lap. Okay. So yeah, my foot's still bad. But I've got more tests and an ultrasound on it. And basically when I know more, I'll probably share it. But if, I don't know, anyway, enough about that. So basically, after 2 long walks, I've had 2 days off walking because my foot needed a break and my ankle needed a break. So I've done a bit of training with them. If anybody follows our Instagram and Facebook, they'll see that we did some group shots of the dogs. I say we, I do the shots. Des, leave it. Disney, enough. Lie down. Sorry, Dudley's ear is bad again and she's licking it, and that doesn't help because you want it to dry out in there, and then she's washing it, and everybody knows mouths aren't particularly clean. So yeah, anyway, played around with that, did a bit of show training yesterday with Pumpkin and Raven, and they worked on the group shots with everyone else today. Raven did better than Pumpkin. Pumpkin did okay at the start and then she got bored. So yeah, but I thought I'd talk about the hearing tests that Dalmatians get and other breeds of dogs like Australian Shepherds, Bull Terriers, Harlequin Great Danes. Yeah, there's quite a few different breeds that get tested, and it's not maybe the video you'd think, because everybody's like, make sure you get a puppy from a breeder that tests, which, okay, yeah, fair enough, you should. But I'm going to add something else to that, and I'm going to say, check out the company that's doing the hearing tests, because this is like, I don't want to be, I'll watch what I say, because I don't want to like name and shame companies, because it's really tempting to do that, but I'm not going to. But there's been a few posts recently on Facebook of people buying dogs and they believe the puppy's of certain hearing, and because they've been tested as that hearing, and then again retested elsewhere, or they're questioning on those groups should they get them retested elsewhere because they're not convinced of the result. And like, that's, yeah, you should get them retested because you can't really proceed until you've got an answer. So this example, I think there was one that the puppy was deaf, but it was passed as full hearing, and in that instance the breeder had fraudulently altered the paperwork. And another case we heard of that hasn't been on social media has been that the puppy was passed as full hearing. They strongly suspect it's unilateral and they've booked it in. They have booked, no, it's already been, sorry, it's been tested elsewhere as a unilateral. And they bought this particular puppy, and it's now 18 months old, to start their own kennel for breeding, and now they can't do that. So even if they go back to this breeder and say this has happened, even if that breeder offers them a puppy from their next litter, they're still 2 years behind, or 18 months, even if they had a puppy right now, behind in their plans, because the puppy, the bitch, needs to be 2 before she's bred from. So that's like put their time scale way out just because of that. So they were asking us what they should do And my first piece of advice was go back to the breeder and see what they say. So we're just waiting to hear about that. But like, look into that particular kennel's hearing results. Now with Dalmatians, unilaterals and deafs are a lot more common than in some of the other breeds that get hearing tested. So if a kennel has perfect hearing results and they claim that they've never had a unilateral in years and years and years and years and years and years of breeding, chances are they're lying. They're either fraudulently getting hearing certificates of full hearing dogs. The company they're using for hearing test is not performing those tests correctly, or they're just lying and they are producing unilaterals and just not telling you, which if you're not the direct customer of them, they have no obligation to tell you really. They should be honest. If people ask us because they're interested in a puppy from us and we're going down the line of puppy buyers, we will tell them. If they're just going down and asking us because they're being nosy, frankly, it's none of your business. But we will always be honest to any potential puppy buyers. And we're always honest to all puppy buyers that are there and waiting to go on that list. We never ever will lie. And we changed companies to Perdita's Pet Service or Dotty Diagnostics. She's on Facebook under both names. I think Perdita's Pet Services was like the puppy bags, the gifts and stuff that she does. And she does pet transport as well. And then Dotty Diagnostics is the hearing specific results tests that she does. But we recommend her to everybody. She's extremely professional, uses good size needles. Is very, very good with the dogs themselves. Will give you help and advice if you need it on which puppy you should keep. I always ask for her opinion because it's easy to get drawn into loving like one specific puppy and then having a bit of like tunnel vision for that puppy than what you should have. So look into who they use, and if you know other Dalmatian owners and people, ask them who their hearing tests are done with, and then ask the kennel for their results. Like, and it doesn't have to be specifically how many unilaterals or deaf puppies have you ever had. It could just be how many litters have you had that are full hearing. And then you could say, they say we've had 4 litters that are full hearing. And then you look on the Kennel Club database and it'll say this breeder's produced 12 litters. Well, you know only 4 of those litters, which is quite a lot. I'm not very good at watching myself. That's embarrassing. Never mind. Let's get over that. So you know that 8 litters contained at least 1 unilateral puppy. Now some people register their hearing results online with the Kennel Club. We don't bother with that because I don't know, it's an extra £15 I think per puppy just to use that service, and quite frankly it doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to be I'm not a member of the Dalmatian clubs. There's 3, I think it's 3 in the UK. One's the Dalmatian Club of Scotland, and there's the British Dalmatian Club, and there's North of England Dalmatian Club, and their policy of being a member is if you breed a litter, you do use that service. I'm not a member, so I'm not obligated to, and my opinion is that extra money, I use it to use Louise, who she travels from further away, so my money gets used that way rather than just putting her on the Kennel Club website. So as a breeder, I'd say you get what you pay for, and if you've got to use a service from further afield that is more expensive, but you get what you pay for. It's better service, so we prefer that for our puppies. So yeah, we always will recommend Perdita's Pet Service or Dotty Diagnostics, the same company, same person responsible for it. But yeah, I think shop around if you're breeding and you need a litter tested. Ask other breeders for their opinion on various companies, and ask more than one breeder. Now, if you don't know any other Dalmatian breeders, I can't see that you wouldn't, because you must have found a breeder to, one, buy a puppy, and two, find a stud dog. But anyway, ask online on one of the Dalmatian Facebook groups, who do you use? Or one of your other breed Facebook groups if you've not got Dalmatians. I'm just obsessed with spotty dogs, as everybody knows. So yeah, if you've got a bull terrier, go on a bull terrier Facebook group and ask. And then you get in opinions from several people, and I think you get a better picture of who to use if you do it that way. So yeah, if you're a puppy buyer, ask them about their hearing results, as well as asking them about the parents of that litter's hearing results. Ask them what company they use and go from there, because unfortunately this has cropped up. I think I know of at least 4 instances in the last 6 months of issues. I'm going to call it issues because some were blatant fraud by the breeder, and the others were potential issues with the testing or the tester, and it could just be that their machine needs recalibrating. Like, I don't know, there's lots of things it could be. It could be the puppy had a very severe ear infection after the test. It's going to be very hard to go down that route, but I think if there's consistent issues with a company, then I think breeders need to seriously consider whether or not to use that company again. Like, we had an issue, as I've talked about before, in our first ever litter, we had one deaf puppy in there, and we knew from the start she was deaf. Like, all the others would wake up with sounds, she wouldn't. Deaf puppies also have like quite a characteristic high pitched like scream. Like, when they would cry, you know, for attention or whatever, they have a really high pitched one because they can't hear themselves. So she had that as well, and we'd already arranged for a deaf home before she got hearing tested, but we got her tested with everyone else because we wanted her in writing. They tested her as unilateral, and they tested her twice, and they passed her twice as unilateral. Now, this dog has never, ever, ever reacted to a sound in her life. Now, us as breeders, we could have gone, well, we got this sheet of paper that says she's unilateral, let's sell her for some money and earn some money. We didn't. We gave her away to a home that was prepared and knew what they were taking on, and they knew they were taking on a deaf dog. Part of the reason why we swapped companies. But yeah, it would have been very easy. But then what sort of life would that puppy have had going to a home who was told they got a puppy that can hear, and then is ignoring them all the time? But she's not ignoring them, she can't hear. Like, I've heard of people using like shock collars on dogs, deaf dogs, because they think they're hearing and they don't realise they got a deaf dog, which is obviously very cruel. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this here because I could ramble on and rant on about poor companies for a long time. And if you've got more questions, ask. But basically, I'm not not being horrible about specific companies. I haven't named any of the bad companies because I'm not about naming and shaming on the internet, believe it or not. But if you want my recommendation for a company in the UK, it would always be Louise. She comes out to your house, she covers the whole of the UK, and you can rely on the results. And if you question those results, she will come out to you for free and retest that dog. So you can't get better than that. You can't get more honest than that. And that's what I like, is the honesty. And yeah, I'd rather have poorer results on paper that I can rely on than amazing results, unbelievable results from a company I can't trust, because I want to be an honest breeder, and that's the whole point of what I do, is I want to be honest. And people don't always like that, but I think a lot of people do, and a lot of people come to us because they like that. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.